there's a video called "Are Tesla's Biggest Fans Done?" with Donald Trump. And it hit 250K, 15 minutes long. Let's see. Well, these are not Tesla's biggest fans. Something's giving it away. Why is it called "Are Tesla's Biggest Fans Done with..."
Tesla customers have grown weary of the controversy surrounding the company and its CEO.
Tesla coming off a 27% stock drop in February.
It's a completely different picture from the one that inspired thousands, if not millions, for years.
Thank you. That's a lot, yeah.
To his admirers, Elon Musk had grand ambitions and was elegantly solving some of the planet's biggest problems. A real-life Tony Stark.
For a lot of people, Tesla was not just an investment or car, it was an ideology and it was a movement.
It really felt like we're changing the world.
But in recent months, many have offloaded stock, sold their cars, and started shopping for rival brands, baffled by Musk's public behavior and his choices.
He went from being somebody that you looked up to as one of the greatest entrepreneurs of our time to somebody that was off his rocker.
Here's why many have turned away from the company they once believed so deeply in, and what Tesla or Musk.
As a gamer, I simply can't see that line of thinking. Okay? Maybe there's some things he did in the White House that I don't agree with, but his Diablo 4 and Path of Exile 2 play is impeccable. It's untouchable. And when I see him do that, I know that he is a real one, that he understands me, that he plays from the heart, and that he is truly one of the top 10 players of both games in the world. So it's just like I can't, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the proof for me. That's all the proof I need. His fat rolling Elden Ring build was truly, I was truly blown away by the brilliance of it. It's like, what? Of course. You have some bad news? What about this?
Musk might need to do to win them back. Numbers paint a discouraging picture. Deliveries fell 13% in the first quarter of 2025. Automotive revenue, 20%. Profits plummeted by 71%. Used Tesla values are falling faster than any other brand, as a record number of owners are trading in the cars. Shares have fallen by roughly 30% in 2025.
Yikes.
Some owners have found their vehicles to be worthless or worse.
I'm upside down in these vehicles. We're getting a fraction of what is paid, and things like FSD that we paid full price for and paid interest on our loan have no value in terms of...
Dude, my understanding is they are getting close to essentially discontinuing the Cybertruck with how many unsold Cybertrucks there are and how few future orders there are. Like, it's just not worth the cost to make. And then, isn't there like a Roadster model that people, like this was MKBHD came out and talked about this. He put a down payment on a Roadster model like 8 years ago that is still not out. That's crazy. That's great. You can't take someone's money that fucking long ago. 50K. Yeah, 50K. It's absurd. You take the money early and don't give them a car for years and years. You're just stealing. You've just stolen their money. 250K in some cases. If you give 250K to Elon Musk for a Roadster and you get scammed, I feel like you deserve it. But if you give 50K, you don't deserve it. I will not be taking questions. I will not be taking questions. That's my belief and I'm sticking to it. Okay.
of exchange.
FSD is a driver assistance system. Many owners prepaid for the service, which is being rolled out over time, but it has been subject to delays and criticized for failing to live up to expectations. But FSD is just one of the many problems Tesla faces. Brand Finance studies and ranks global brands by value based on expected revenues. Tesla reached its highest point in 2023, breaking the top 10. But then it fell in the 2024 report and further down again this year. The survey was done before President Donald Trump took office.
The reason it's dropped is twofold. First of all, the competition is catching up in terms of quality, innovation, pricing. But on top of that, we've also had the...
Yeah, worth saying. Any of you Australian? We'll talk about the Australian election a little bit, but if any of you are Australian down under, saw the sales figures, BYD outselling Tesla 6-1 in Australia. That's one of the countries, you know, developed, you call them first world, whatever economies, that has access to both BYD and Tesla. 6-1 outselling. It's just a mogging. And you could imagine, dude, if we didn't have 125% tariffs plus 100% tariffs on cars for Chinese EVs in America, it would be a real problem here in America. People would be trying them, dude. I hope it comes to Canada. There's a decent chance it could come to Canada. I mean, before, you know, under previous alliances that would not happen, but under this situation, you know, Canada doesn't really make their own cars, so they would have no problem getting Chinese EVs. I feel like the lack of BYD cars in America hurts most Americans. Well, yes, for a consumer, you want as much competition as possible. You want all car companies competing with you to give you the best quality, lowest price, etc. I think there's a fair argument to say that like EVs is such an important industry and the knowledge of batteries and all that, that you don't want your entire homegrown industry to get wiped out and it all go to China. I think it's a fair thing to say, but for the consumer POV, they want you to catch up fucking quick. Like if you're going to tariff and keep the competition out, you better fucking catch up quick. And they're not really doing that. So I want a Chinese EV bad, but I can see both sides of it. How did the smuggling law work? Dude, I looked into this. So I was thinking about smuggling. Caught Donald Trump, if you're watching. I was thinking about smuggling. I was going to buy a Xiaomi SU7 in Mexico and drive it up because we visit Ari's family in Mexico sometimes, her extended family. So I was going to do that. And then, you know, you look into it and the penalties are really severe for what it is, which is smuggling. It's tariff evasion. And yeah, it could be bad. It could be quite bad. And I'm quite sure that I'll, you know, eventually have a fucking busted taillight or something and get caught. I'm quite sure. And then people saying just pay it. Okay, I was considering maybe paying it for content before the new tariffs. I'm absolutely not paying like 200 to 300% of my car's value to the fucking US government to it's not fucking that's absurd. I'm just not going to do that. That's fucking so stupid. And I will just wait. So not a patriot. No, I'll just walk and I'll send all the 300% to Trump directly via check.
See, innovation, pricing. But on top of that, we've also had the slightly odd behavior of the CEO, which has alienated a lot of customers.
It is apparent to many former fans. Their reasons vary, but they have a lot in common. Problems with service and product quality, frustration with top management, and yes, Musk's rhetoric, social media posts, and work with US President Donald Trump.
Nobody voted for Elon Musk.
Tesla's first quarter results for 2025 were a disaster. A huge number of center left and left to far left leaning consumers will not consider buying Teslas anymore.
A CNBC survey found that half of Americans have a negative view of Tesla and Elon Musk. Only 27% have a positive. Musk's net approval among Democrats is -82 and +56 among Republicans. But EVs are most popular among Democrats.
If you just look at the numbers in places like Scandinavia and Germany and Britain, people are turning off from Tesla in droves. They do not like his behavior and they do not like his right-wing stance.
I can't walk past the TV without seeing a Tesla on fire. You're like, what's going on?
CNBC's kind of biting my shit. Can I be real? This is the same shit, bro. I felt like a fucking month and a half ago. I'm not kidding. It's exactly the same lie. I'm not even kidding, bro.
Like, this is psycho.
Fun viewer.
Stop being psycho.
Tesla is what made him the world's richest person on paper and has given him a lot of his clout. And we're seeing the chickens come home to roost, in a sense, at
Tell 'em.
Tesla.
I've owned lots of great cars, but the Model S was way ahead of its time. This was not only a great electric car, the best electric car, it was just a great car.
I'll fully admit it. When I first saw Teslas, I was like, damn, that's a cool fucking car. I'm not really a car guy. The big fucking screen, the seat warmer, I thought it was fucking cool. I thought it was fancy. But I said, I will not buy one of these unless the owner of this company is radicalizing and tearing down our government. And so I had to wait a long time until I could buy one now. And now I bought 3 Teslas this year because I'm finally a supporter. But until then, I was very tepid. I was very like, I don't know. Can I trust this guy? Is he...
And that was the big thing that changed.
It's called having principles.
You didn't have any sacrifices. You had beautiful styling, you had speed, you had quiet, you had the efficiency.
Tesla
Atrioc, have you seen the new Chinese EV prototype? Bro, I've seen a million of them. Have you seen the one that can jump?
was miles ahead of the competition for years. He was a visionary who bet the farm on EV, and everyone said he was nuts and he wasn't making money. But, he's a swashbuckling entrepreneur.
After all, Musk wasn't just running Tesla. He was launching rockets into space, devising
Yeah, I've heard
hyperloops
it.
and plans to bore tunnels under Los Angeles, doing things no one else could seem to do.
Damn, does he not look like a...
And plans to...
Does he not look just like the evil version of Brennan Lee Mulligan here? Does anyone not see like the Game Changer guy? He's like his evil cousin. I can see it, bro. It's like Waluigi of Brennan Lee Mulligan. I 100% see it.
To bore tunnels under Los Angeles, doing things no one else could seem to do. He was going to change the world.
The hottest stock in the world right now has got to be Tesla. Shares soaring after earnings.
Over time, Musk became more vocal about the threat of climate change and more critical of fossil fuels and the industry that sells them.
The issues we're facing are very serious. With climate change, it's really important that we take action.
Being able to change the EV industry and being a part of something revolutionary seemed like a no-brainer.
That Musk often promised more than he delivered, that Tesla delayed and changed plans and lost money quarter after quarter, didn't faze fans.
He was consistently pushing very, very high numbers and missing them, but he was accomplishing more than anybody else had at that time.
Jenkins, like some other owners, was also an investor, with at one point over $500,000 in Tesla shares. So was Brianna Jane. She and her husband have owned a total of 8 vehicles, at least one of every model except the Roadster.
Jesus.
We like the products. They're unique. They're different. It seemed like that was
Why do you need
a
8
really
fucking
good
Teslas?
investment.
So they became shareholders.
It was 100% of our portfolio.
Oh my God.
And so, yes, we put
Jesus Christ. She's done with Tesla? You owned 8 Teslas, that entire of your savings in a Tesla? That's fucking insane. That's an insane way to live your life. It is so much risk. There's no stock that's worth that. Unless it's Nvidia in 2018. Unless it works out for you, then it's fine. But if it doesn't work out for you, it's stupid. Okay?
everything we had into Tesla at the time.
Though Tesla's stock was often volatile, it was still a remarkable performer. Shares in its IPO were priced at $17. As of May 1st, they were trading at roughly $284. The all-time high was $488, shortly after Trump won his second term.
Many of the early fans and proponents of Tesla were very focused on its mission, but they missed these operational problems at Tesla that were antithetical to that goal.
But Musk's public behavior shifted over time.
Elon Musk used to speak pretty clearly about environmental science.
Dude, just more clearly in general. I'm not saying he was ever the world's greatest speaker, but if you watch like a 2017 Elon Musk, he just was more. The ketamine theory seems real, bro. He actually was more cogent. He could just do more complete sentences without mumbling or doing a weird laugh or like trailing off or yeah, it's not even what he's saying, which is obviously changed, but how he's saying it has definitely changed. Watching his earnings calls now versus older earnings calls is actually a huge night and day difference.
Climate change. In recent years, it's been a slow mission drift for him and for Tesla.
He started attacking people who didn't like something that he was doing, never met a deadline that he promised. You'd listen to the calls and stuff, and it was just like...
Bro, half the people in this chat yelling at him for not missing deadlines when you haven't made a deadline of your fucking homework or fucking 2 years, bro. You got like 19 things due that you're not working on, and you're fucking lashing out at one of your own? A fellow procrastinator? Do I have an MM presentation today? No. And I'm mad at Elon Musk? Did I finish my PowerPoint? No. And I'm sitting here getting mad at Elon Musk for being a little bit late on 100 different promises? It's just, you know, a year of kindness, really. Year of kindness. Thank you for the 42 months, Isto. I'm sorry, I'm crashing out on Elon Musk. When you think about it, we are all Elon Musk. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
What is this guy saying?
Some of his statements related to his businesses.
I'm kind of the Elon Musk of committing to quitting drinking. Okay, bro. Okay, bro, put the bottle down. We're here for you. Put the bottle down. Put the bottle down. Okay? You can do it. You are better than Elon at this commitment. I'm the Elon Musk of medical school. Okay, let's not make it a calling card. Atrioc is the Elon Musk of Paper Mario? No, I'm not the Elon Musk of Paper Mario, because even though I promised it for 4 years and only worked a little bit each year, I still finished it. I still finished it. He's had 12 years for the same promises, still not done it. I only did it 1 day a year.
And some not, have drawn controversy, defamation lawsuits, and investigations and charges from government agencies such as the Securities and Exchange Commission. This started to take its toll on some once diehard devotees.
522 job is not finished. The job is finished. The job is literally finished. We actually rolled credits on the game. The job is finished. The job's done. The game that I started at the beginning of COVID, I beat last year. That is what I did. It's a 4-year journey. Job's done. Job's done. I can't do it. Job's done. 1,000-Year Door is not finishing the story. It's a prequel. There's also no overarching story. Also, I already beat 1,000-Year Door when I was young. I have no reason to play it. Job's done. Job is done. It is 100% done. Done and dusted. Fucking cooked. Eaten. We had dessert. Job's done. Zug zug.
Started to see that every other sentence out of Elon's mouth was either a lie or an exaggeration.
Fucking true, but cold. Yeah. You also call him Elon. Very consistent. Very consistent with the lie and the exaggeration.
Tesla itself has attracted controversy over its technology and product quality. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has opened multiple investigations of crashes involving Tesla's driver assistance software.
But I'm sure it'll all be figured out by June? By 1 month from now when they launch it in Austin? I'm sure it'll all be figured out. It'll all work out.
Among other things, Musk settled fraud charges made by the Securities and Exchange Commission.
I gotta be honest with you. Listen, Waymo's not paying me, bro. But I've seen like 100 Waymos in LA near me, and they are very well liked. Everybody that tries it has come out with a positive experience. They're actually doing really well. Dude, this tweet is so funny. It's like one of the most, it's so small scale now to think about, but it is just blatant stock pumping. Because if this is true, funding is secured, then if the stock is under 420, it's free money to buy it. So everybody did. But then it didn't go private at 420. So everyone pumped his stock up to 420 for nothing. And it was just a lie. That is the most blatant example of lying to pump your stock.
Plan to take Tesla private. That tweet was one of the first red flags for Jane.
I ran out of my office and I was banging on my husband's door. And I said, hey, I need you to come out for a second. And he's like, what? I go, sell it now.
I saw tweeting going up quite a lot, started having problems with SEC, started being an expert on global politics, and starting getting into a lot of things that were outside of those two big themes, cars, interplanetary species, and let's green up the world.
Elon Musk reportedly is at least a
Wait,
step
did someone
closer.
say her background is abstract Tesla art? No. That's not Tesla art, is it? No. If she had like erotic Elon Musk bearskin rug photos, that
of those two big themes, interplanetary species and let's green up the world.
Elon Musk reportedly is at least a step closer to securing his takeover of Twitter. The Wall Street Journal reporting that the deal is worth $44 billion now.
He was dividing his focus even more. It wasn't just SpaceX and Tesla and some other deep tech things. Now there's this, acquisition, a leveraged buyout of Twitter, and he's dumping Tesla shares to do it. How can the center hold here?
Both NHTSA and the SEC declined to comment. Tesla did not respond to a request from CNBC.
Okay.
Despite their doubts, Jane and her husband remain shareholders. But a trip to the company's We Robot event proved decisive.
We decided, okay, we're going to go there. It'll be a neat experience. We'll be able to see things firsthand and, figure out what's going on, because stock had not been performing particularly well.
Okay.
But she was denied entry at the event.
They said, well, it's one ticket per household, and we gave them to the head of household. And I said, well, who's the head of household? And then they said, look, this came straight from Elon. This is how it is. You've got like 150 men per one female in the crowd. And I told my husband that night afterwards, I said, not just because I'm bitter or whatever, I said, I think the stock's going to go down big time.
Musk had long been involved in politics.
Okay, but it sounds a little bit like you bought 8 Tesla cars and were a shareholder through all of the stupidity for years, and then you didn't get to go to a party, and that's what made you sell it. That feels like the worst reason to sell. That feels like the craziest. That doesn't seem like the right reason at all, but.
He had briefly served as a White House advisor during Donald Trump's first term. But his recent push to get more deeply involved in politics in the United States and abroad has been a final straw for many. Musk donated more than $250 million to various Republican causes leading up to the 2024 election. His role as an advisor to Donald Trump has led to protests around the country. Trump created the Department of Government Efficiency via executive order and put Musk in charge of it.
Some shareholders have a really big problem with it. He didn't appoint someone else to run the shop while he was out doing Doge stuff.
He can do it all.
I didn't buy a car to magnify a political party. And I feel that's very unfair to people who own Tesla stock, and particularly unfair to people who bought the car and cannot get out of it.
Yeah, the
Not
used
everybody
prices are
can
terrible.
sell their cars at a loss.
I just had a friend who brought his car to the shop, and it was like...
Especially people who bought the car or borrowed to buy the car. Like if you have 9 Teslas, you probably didn't buy them all with cash, which means if you sell it at a loss, you still have to pay off the rest of the difference, which is not excellent.
Spray painted with swastika.
Chris Lee is a YouTuber and has owned 4 Teslas.
Okay.
He has made several videos about his ownership experience, and he interviewed protesters and owners in the wake of the controversy.
I always get comments also, and people email me, hey, Chris, I'm about to go on a road trip to Oregon and across this United States. Is it safe to drive my Tesla? I'm scared I'm going to get vandalized. So unfortunately, that's something that we're dealing with right now, and people are really upset with Tesla. But once it passes, I think we'll just all go back to normal.
Sure. I mean, maybe.
Musk is gaining approval in some quarters, such as among Republicans, but they're a lot less likely to buy EVs, so it hasn't offset the losses.
Yeah, I heard that.
Winning back customers and investors isn't easy, and it's not just Musk's politics that have driven some buyers to other brands.
I'm supposed to trust Elon Musk in autonomous vehicle when they still can't even get the sensors right on the windshield wipers. I mean, like, it's really bad. The navigation has gotten worse. It's constantly sending me and my wife to the wrong places.
We were promised a service center in our area quite some time ago. It hasn't come. And mobile service is not what it used to be. I had a seatbelt fixed on one of my vehicles only to have my kids get in the car and find out that they fixed a seatbelt that wasn't broken.
Tesla's future is far from secure. There's much more competition, and Tesla has been making some risky bets on autonomous vehicles and robots.
They were once seen as pioneering, and now they're seen as a bit of a lag.
Well, I feel like the robots thing is so, like, nobody's buying it. I don't know anyone who's like truly, some people are excited for the autonomous. And I think there's an argument to be made. They have more vehicles than a Waymo. If they can find a way to do it without killing people, then okay. But the robot, I do not see any true hype for it, any groundswell of like a ton of consumers who are excited to pay 20 grand plus for a robot like that. It feels very gimmicky. I don't know. Tries to investigate. I'm not saying robotics is not a field that will continue to grow. I'm saying, like a near-term personal robot does not seem like a real business case. People buying humanoid personal robots for themselves, not for like businesses, not for like factories. It feels very. I just don't see it. I'll say I'm a big skeptic of not just Elon, but anyone making a real use case to sell. The Jetson style robot of robot's gonna wash your dishes or whatever, or walk around your house. I think unlikely, but.
Haggard in the autonomous vehicle space. People in robotics think
Roombas already exist. Bro, the fucking Roomba it's like a job. It's not a job, but the Roomba gets stuck so often. We stopped using it. Managing the Roomba was more trouble than just cleaning up the thing, just fucking sweeping. It's stupid. The Roomba's dumb. Why do I need a robot when I got my... Okay, Jesus Christ. I can't fuck a Roomba. Okay, well. With your dick size, I think you can, first of all. Keep trying.
You know, if they do the right thing with all the data and video they're amassing, they have a real shot, but it's just past due and they're ceding ground at this point.
Musk said on the Q1 2025 company earnings call that he planned to reduce his time in the Trump White House.
Yeah.
You're invited to stay as long as you want. At some point, I guess he wants to get back home to his car.
That means spending 2 days a week on his government.
I talked about this. This meeting was so crazy. This meeting was so North Korean. Everybody went around the fucking table with Gulf of America hats and said, "Dear leadership," bro. They had to open, it was like everybody giving their update on their part of the government, Secretary of State, whatever, but they all opened with like a fucking minute-long speech about how nothing they did would have been possible without the fucking glorious, wise leadership of our dear leader, and how you've made America in a golden age in record time, and how we bask in your glorious sunlight, King. And then they would, I'm not even exaggerating, bro. It was crazy. It was everyone had to do it. There wasn't just like somebody giving a regular status update. You know, I've been in boardroom meetings with a powerful CEO, a Jensen Huang. People didn't do that. They just gave their fucking update. He would yell at you if you did that. That would be crazy. That would be. You have to really be kind of narcissistic, and kind is understatement.
That means spending 2 days a week on his government work. Is that enough to run a public company that's at this inflection point where they're facing competition from China, a decline in the brand's reputation?
But if Musk's image is tarnished, returning to Tesla might not help at all.
I think most public companies probably would not have tolerated what he has been doing for the last 6 months, but it isn't a normal company. He is in control. And so really, someone ought to be reasoning with him to say, look, we do actually think you're a distraction.
Elon could turn it around if he chose to. But first of all, it's got to be, do we even have a problem? Do we even care? And is this a path we want to go down?
When you have a problem.
For me, I would like to see a return to Tesla fundamentals, which was supposed to be about sustainable energy. I think there's a lot of great people at Tesla who have a voice that we should hear more from.
So they did. I mean, was the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times story? I don't know if it was. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, it was Wall Street Journal. Okay. They claim that there was a search, that the Tesla board did have an open search to find a CEO to replace Elon Musk. Now, the theory is that they were doing that to kind of scare him, to kind of be like, hey, you are doing so many other things. The stock is in half. We have to. And the idea was to like put a fire under his ass to go back. Now, he has vociferously denied this. He got fucking furious on Twitter. He said this never happened. This story is fake news. No one's ever thought about replacing him. He's the fucking... but they stuck by the reporting. So this is a recent story. And it's by Emily Glazer. You think she would glaze, but she's not glazing. And they make the claim that board members wanted them to spend more time on Tesla and had been looking at a replacement. Hours after this article was published, Tesla issued a denial on X. Musk also criticized the article in a post on X. The CEO of Tesla is Elon Musk, and the board is highly confident in his ability to continue executing on the exciting growth plan ahead, Tesla chair Robin Denholm said. Except Tesla chair Robin Denholm is selling so much Tesla stock, it's crazy. I think she has dumped like all her holdings in 3 months. So it's just funny that she's acting like there's no problems.